How's it going, guys? What's up? What's up? I'm gonna go over an anime today, an anime review, I guess you could say. And it is Ajin Demi-Human. Like the last one, Cyborg 009 vs. Devilman. God, my camera sucks. Well, my tripod does specifically. I have to get a new one. It is a Netflix original, which means they picked it up, they got it subbed and everything. And as with Cyborg 009 vs. Devilman, it is a fantastic show. Main story is about this kid named K Nagai, or Nagai K, whichever way you want to say it. Is your average, well, not your average, an excelling high school student who winds up getting ran over and comes back to life. He finds out he is something called an Ajin, which the world has been hunting down. The Japanese government has been experimenting on because they cannot die, according to the story. And what they don't know, or what is very limited knowledge, is that these Ajin see this black spirit thing. Sadly, there is not much explanation for it. But with this, Kenagai finds out there is a rogue Ajin group that is trying to destroy the Japanese government in a way, but more so create their own free world. And the leader of this group, Mr. Sato, is devious. He's very manipulative. And he's also insanely smart. At least story-wise. Big thing about the Ajin, when they do die, they do come back good as new. But if they break any bones, like an arm or something, they would have to wait till it was perfectly healed. Unless if they killed themselves, then the arm would come back perfect. Pros. Fantastic characterization throughout the 13 episodes. You really get a feel for the main character. You get a feel for the Ajin that comes with him later. I am trying to do this as spoiler free as possible, so I apologize if I'm being vague. It was an interesting concept from the get-go. The beginning of the show really shows who he was from the start, and we get this huge character arc from start to finish where it's really a drastic change. He is very smart, and he starts noticing this himself. Pacing to the show is literally breakneck. Each episode just keeps going and going and going, and the show felt like it was maybe 2 hours long, if so. It's 13 episodes, about 20 minutes each. So probably about 5.5, 6 hours total. But because of the pacing, how fast the show went, it is beyond enjoyable. It does get you to care about certain characters that I guess you shouldn't because of their actions, but when something happens to them that is kind of bad, you're just like, you know. It's like when something happens to the Joker. You sympathize with him, sort of, because he's the Joker. You don't want him to die. But you kind of do. As I said, Mr. Sato is very manipulative. He's very cold. He's very calculating. But everything he says comes off with a sense of sincerity. The actor they got to dub his voice, and I am speaking English dub, not Japanese sub, mostly because that's what came up on Netflix when I watched it. I usually watch sub, but the English dub was good, for the most part. And finally, the biggest pro, this series has one of the most intense action sequences I've seen in a long time. From start to finish, when you think it's over, it's not. It just fantastic. It does take place with Mr. Sato fighting a police force, which is the highest trained force that was available to the Japanese people at the time being. And I really want to get into the spoilers of it. Just, it was so good, literally start to finish. Cons, animation style. I absolutely hate the cell shading anime. Hate it. That's why I had trouble getting through Knights of Sidonia. And initially, when I started watching Ajin the first time, I saw the animation style and just immediately turned it off. That's how against that kind of animation I am. I do love traditional hand drawn animation. I feel there are moments where a combination of 3D and classic hand drawn animation can work together. Akira is a fantastic, well, Ghost in the Shell too. Example of that. But flat out 3D cell shaded where you can tell, not even done in such a way that it looks hand drawn like what the new Voltron it looks like it's going for. Just doesn't work for me. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And the fact that I love Ajin so much that I can get past that no issue after I did finally sit down and watch more than 10 seconds of it. It hooked me to the point where I binged the whole thing. The other thing, the dub. The English dub. The main characters are on point. They are perfect. But there are a couple side characters that just sound bland. They're very unconvincing, or it just kind of pulls you out of the show. But overall, this anime was absolutely fantastic. I looked up the author, and I found out the only thing that the author made for the manga it was based on was a hentai doujinshi. And sadly, I am unable to find it translated because I'm curious to see what his writing style was. I will be watching the Ajin, or reading the Ajin manga hopefully soon. But overall, anime series, I would give it an honestly 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. It is near perfect, but the animation style really brings it down. And there's a couple side characters where the dubbing pulls you out of it. Other than that, it was fantastic. With those being minor complaints, I do suggest you get out there, you watch it. It is beautiful. Have a wonderful day.